So in this video we are going to be looking at finding the volume of cylinders. So again, if I wanted to find the volume of a three-dimensional shape, just like we've been talking about, if I'm looking for the volume of some kind of right prism, I'm going to start off by saying volume is equal to the base area times the height of the prism. And when I look at the cylinder, a cylinder, the base area has to be the area of this circle. The circle is the base area of a cylinder. It's what makes a cylinder unique from other right-angled 3D shapes. Okay, so the circle here is what makes the cylinder different. So when I'm looking at finding the base area, my base area is really going to be the area of a circle. Okay, so if I'm looking to find the base area and I've got the area of a circle multiplied by the height of the prism, so it's the area of the circle multiplied by the height of the prism, this 12 is the height of the prism because it is the line or the distance that connects my one base on the bottom to the base on the top. Okay, so that 12 is the height of the prism. The hard work I have to do is figuring out the area of this circle. So the area of a circle, the way we would find that is we go pi r squared is how we get the area of one circle. Now remember, we're going to refer to pi for our purposes in grade 8. We're going to use the approximation of 3.14. Okay. This r squared, so as a reminder, that's the same thing as r times r, or the radius times the radius. So when I say pi r squared, what I really mean is we're taking 3.14, that approximation of pi, and we're going to multiply it by the radius, and then multiply by the radius again. What I often will do is I kind of just calculate what r squared is first, and then I multiply by the radius afterwards. And so we're going to find that area of the circle, and then afterwards we're going to multiply it by the height. Okay? All right, let's actually do this example now where I don't have everything all scribbled. So again, volume is equal to that base area times the height of the prism, and the base area in this case is the area of a circle. So I'm going to write out pi r squared because that's my area of the circle, and then I'm going to multiply by the height of the prism afterwards. Now I can substitute in the information I know, so pi we're going to approximate using 3.14, and then we're going to multiply by the radius squared, so that is 5 squared, and then the height of the prism is that 12. Now as a reminder, I have to do this exponent first. I have to do that 5 times 5 first, and that gives me 25. So now I have 3.14, which is that approximation for pi, times 25 times 12. 3.14 times 25 gives us 78.5, and 78.5 times 12 is 942. And I'm going to look at my units. They are centimeters. So it's centimeters, and because it's a volume, centimeters cubed. So again, all I did, found the area of the circle, and I multiplied it by the height of the prism. And the height of the prism, or the cylinder here, is 12 because it connects the circle on the bottom to the circle on the top. And there we go, we found the volume. What happens if we tip the cylinder over and it looks like this? How does it change? Well, the volume still starts off as the base area multiplied by the height of the prism, or the height of the cylinder. And the base area, we're still looking at a base that is a circle. So even though the circle is not on the ground, again, the circle is what makes the cylinder unique and different from the other 3D shapes we've been talking about. So the circle is that base area, so I need to find pi r squared, which is the area of that circle, multiplied then by the height of the prism afterwards. So again, pi, I estimated as 3.14, and then I'm going to multiply by the radius squared. The radius here is 12, so I have to do 12 squared, and then the height of the prism is the line that connects this circle on the front to the circle on the back, and that distance here is the 50 millimeters. Again, I have to be careful. I have to do this exponent first, so I need to do 12 times 12 first, because squaring means multiply by itself. Not 12 times 2, but 12 times 12, multiplying by itself. And I go 3.14 times 144, that is 452.16. And when I multiply that by the 50, I get 22,608. And looking at our units, they are millimeters. So I'm going to put millimeters cubed because it's a volume. So I have units are cubed. Okay. One last one. This is kind of similar. My neighbors put up a pool in their backyard, and it's about this big. I'm just guesstimating. It's pretty close. Same idea. How do I find the volume of this pool? Well, I would start off by taking that base area times the height of the prism or the cylinder. I still have my base area needs to be a circle, so I need to start off by finding the area of a circle. The area of one circle is pi r squared, and then I'm going to multiply by the height after that. I'm going to approximate pi using 3.14, and the radius I don't have. This is a diameter. This line goes all the way across the cylinder. That means this is a diameter. So remember, if I want the radius is only half as big. So if the whole diameter is 15 feet, then the radius is 15 cut in half. I divide my diameter by 2, and my radius is now 7.5 feet. Okay? All right, so I'm going to use my radius as 7.5 squared, and then afterwards we're going to multiply by the height, and in this case that height is 4. So we multiply by 4 after. Again, I need to do this exponent before the rest of my multiplication. 7.5 times 7.5. Okay, it doesn't mean times by 2, it means multiply by itself. That gives us 56.25. And so now we have 3.14 times 56.25 times that height, which is 4. 3.14 times 56.25 is 176.625. I'll write that down, 176.625. And then I'm going to multiply that answer by my 4 here. And in total, that gives me 706.5. And I'll take a look at my units. My units are feet. So I will write it as feet cubed. Okay, so finding the volume of a cylinder works just like we did with the other shapes. We start off with that original formula, base area times the height of the prism. How a cylinder is different than its other counterparts we've looked at is the base area has to be a circle. So that means I need to start by finding the area of a circle and then multiplying by the height of the prism afterwards. Do be careful. Make sure your information tells you what your radius is. If you are given diameter to start with, cut your diameter in half or divide it by 2 to get your radius. This formula only works using the radius. So if you are given diameter, make sure you change it. And that is finding volume of a cylinder.